Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the India-Japan Emerging Tech Initiative. It's a great honor to welcome you here at the Indian Embassy. To our guests who are joining in online, thank you for joining us. Before I start, I would like to really thank the Embassy of India, His Excellency Mr. Sibi George, our Honorable Ambassador of India, Invest India, who is our web hosting partner from India, and ISIC Japan, International Security Industry Council. I would like to thank Mr. Tanaka-san and Karuchi-san from ATLA for their presence. This event is an ongoing process between Japan and India. We started 2 years back. We had a Japan-India Industrial Dialogue 2 years back between SIDM and ISIC. Since our new ambassador has come to Japan, it has become more dynamic. I'm so happy that we have a platform where startups from India and Japan can engage. I am living in Sapporo. I'm part of the startup ecosystem in Japan. I see how important it is for Indians and Japanese entrepreneurs to interact with each other, to meet each other, to know each other. And Embassy of India provides a platform for them to come together to explore collaboration, synergies, and market dynamics in India and Japan. So, taking it forward, may I request our Honorable Ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Sibi George Sir, to kindly open the event, please. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Our participants who are present here physically and also online. Mr. Kurauchi from the ATLA, Mr. James Agnes, President of ISIC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and warm welcome. I'm very happy to attend this second session of our India-Japan Emerging Tech Seminar. As our introduction mentioned about how we are able to take this forward, I'm very happy to see the progress we have been able to make it. I'm told that the first meeting had generated very good interest in both in Japan and in India, and has generated a lot of positive responses from the participants and also various institutions. I'm very happy to see the good participation for our second edition of the seminar. The world we live in today demands more cooperation between like-minded countries. And which other like-minded countries than India and Japan? So much in common. No history of conflicts. Leadership-driven, people-driven relationship, and which continues to evolve on a steady basis. I remember coming to Japan 20 years back, and when I come back after 20 years, I could see our bilateral relationship has completely transformed from what initially was a G to G, government to government relationship. Now, later it became more a B2B relationship. And today what we see is a special strategic global partnership. It indeed is special. We have annual summits, we have 2+2, we have military to military talks, defense engagement, we have, actually, you won't believe me, we have 72 official dialogue mechanisms between India and Japan. Add to that the track 1.5, track 2, so it's quite a good relationship, I would say. And each one of these meetings are taking place, coming out with discussions and decisions which we follow up on a regular basis. It keeps us busy. And I'm very happy that we are adding this one more platform where actually we are able to bring the dynamic relationship, particularly in the field of emerging technologies, where, as mentioned, startup, other things. There is a lot we can do together, and I see a momentum. As I complete 1 year in Japan now this month, I had the great opportunity of traveling all across Japan. I went to 35 prefectures. Each of these prefectures, I saw a momentum for India-Japan relationship at every level, at the political leadership level, at the business level, at the researchers level, at the universities. I could see that momentum. The Chandrayaan, India's moon mission, has generated more interest in India, particularly in the science and technology field. So I think there is great opportunity for us to work together, particularly the cost-effective way of doing things. See, there is a lot we can do together. But one important thing is that, we both being democracies, both being countries which has a common vision in Indo-Pacific. You call it Japan calls it the FOIP, India calls it the IPOI, but there is a common vision for peace, stability, security, and prosperity of the region, where we need to work together. So we need to contribute more to the stability in the region by collaborating together, engage more, and also resilience is very important. That is where it comes in. We need to use our complementarities to build that relationship further, so that not only us, but also the rest of the countries will be benefited from that. Once again, I congratulate the team for organizing this event. I wish you a very successful discussions today. I'm sure that I'm very happy to note that the 6 companies would make presentations today. We look forward to, with a lot of curiosity, to listen to them, and I'm sure that this would also generate more curiosity in India. Once again, thank you and good afternoon.
As we start the event, I would like to again personally thank our Honorable His Excellency Mr. Sibi George sir for your leadership, for encouraging for us to create a platform here. I would also like to thank Captain Majish Mathis sir for his dynamic leadership and allowing Invest India and ISIC to come together. Ladies and gentlemen, our first startup for today is EX Fusion. The speaker today will be Koichi Masuda-san. Allow me to briefly introduce the startup. EX Fusion is a Japanese startup from Osaka University. They are focused on development of high-power lasers, laser controls for clean energy, and optical industries. And they are also focused on advanced manufacturing technologies. Masuda-san, may we request you on the stage, please? Thank you.
I don't have a clicker or anything, so next, okay. Next. While that's pulling up, I'm going to introduce myself. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you for the Embassy of India, Japan, as well as ISIC. The entire team that put together this event, I really do thank. Maybe one more next? I don't know. So my name is Koichi Masuda, Chief Revenue Officer for X Fusion. We're a Japanese fusion startup. So fusion is the idea of combining hydrogen atoms, deuterium and tritium, together producing helium and neutron. So that in itself produces a huge amount of energy, actually about 10 times more than nuclear fission, the traditional nuclear method. Despite the fact that the slide is not showing, I'll continue. It's okay, I can present without the slides. So really at the heart of it, what X Fusion is working on is producing high power lasers, which enable this fusion reaction. The laser control capability, which is directing the laser to hit the target that you want to hit, which is the fuel material. And then also the blanket material, what is the liquid metal technology that's used to capture this heat and neutron energy. So there's actually 3 major pieces to the technological development that we're working on, and really under, oh, fantastic. Thank you. So, yeah, we can give the AV crew back there a clap. So yeah, really applying this advanced laser technology for the benefit of advancing other industries. Before we get to fusion energy, which quite frankly will take about 10, maybe 12, 15 years down the road, at which point we can have clean energy and abundant energy, that sources coming from seawater, and really we don't have to worry about any of this carbon discussion that we are having today. But before then, we do need to figure out a way to produce revenue for one, and then also figure out how to get this technology to fully work as a power plant. So next slide, please. So yeah, that is exactly the problem that we're trying to solve, finding a new energy source that's clean, that's abundant, and inherently safe. Next slide, please. So specifically for those that don't know nuclear fusion, as I was mentioning earlier, it is the combination of the deuterium-tritium reaction. Inherently, it does not produce CO2 gas. It's also unlimited supply of fuel material, meaning it's coming from seawater. So again, there's 70+% of the world is ocean, so I think we'll be okay there. Scalability for mass adoption. What I mean by this is that it can actually replace fossil fuel like coal, LNG, and other types of power plants. It's replacing the heat source, not necessarily the actual energy generation plant. So we can actually reuse a lot of existing facilities. And again, that allows for mass adoption. Fourth point is the economic compatibility. Competitiveness, which is the fact that we should be able to produce the electricity around, the goal is about 7 cents per kilowatt hour. That is the target. Again, if we can do that, I'm pretty sure we can get the mass adoption that we're talking about as well. And last but not least, the safety part. What I mean by safe is that it doesn't have high level of nuclear waste like fission. Number two is that because of the inherent nature of the reaction, which means you have to put a lot of energy to get fusion working in the first place. If you have a loss of power, meaning if the power plant loses power through blackout or other natural disasters, the facility would automatically shut down and the reaction would stop immediately. That's kind of the inherently safe mechanism of fusion. And last but not least, we don't face the same challenges that we do see with nuclear proliferation with fission material like uranium or plutonium. Next slide, please. So because I only have 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 7 minutes, I'm not going to get into the exact details of how fusion works, but rest assured it is complex. The fuel is no bigger than the tip of your ballpoint pen. So think of a very small ball. It contains deuterium and tritium, which are hydrogen isotopes. They get shot at about 360 kph, speed of a bullet train, basically. And it gets fired 10 times per second. So we have the ignition capability to fire those materials into the chamber, which is the reaction chamber. Then about 150 lasers simultaneously fire upon the single point, that ballpoint that I was talking about, that gets bombarded with about 150 lasers. Now that compresses it to basically the tip of your hair, that size. That is then secondary laser system will fire to get that to light up, basically the ignition phase. And that ignition phase will require another 30 to 40 lasers, and to which at that point, the actual nuclear fusion reaction will happen, producing a lot of energy. That energy is lastly captured by the liquid metal lithium lead material that we're producing here in Japan, and captures the heat energy, and then also it allows to breed tritium, the fuel material itself as well. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. Next slide, please. To make this happen, you require 3 main components. The first one is the laser, what we call the driver technology, which is the actual laser itself. These things, like I said, I need about 150 plus 30 or so. So we need about 200 lasers. And right now we have a 1 kilowatt pulse laser system today. We should be able to produce a 10 kilowatt system by end of next year, and hopefully 100 kilowatt by 2027. Once we have those materials ready, we will actually have the necessary laser driver components to produce a power plant. Number 2 is the control capability. So this is lens, mirrors, a bunch of optical systems to direct that laser and hit that target. What's challenging with a high power laser system is that the heat and the energy density of the laser is very strong, that it actually breaks most glass materials. So you can think of it as it gets shattered and the cracks form. Surface coating will delaminate. A bunch of those technology challenges exist. And again, we have been developing a new technology for coating and new what we call deformable mirrors also helping with that technology. And last but not least, the liquid metal piece. So liquid metal is basically molten metal, but it's a combination of lithium and lead. Lithium is a highly reactive material while lead is not. And combining those two actually makes a very unique property where stability is gained, but can absorb neutrons in that process. This itself is not necessarily a new technology, but producing high purity liquid metal, lithium lead, has been always a challenge. And with the cooperation of Tokyo Institute of Technology, we've been able to work out a comprehensive method of producing this. Now we're moving to mass producing this material. Next slide, please. So taking it on those three pieces that Xfusion is working on, I want to highlight two approaches and industrial applications that we are actually pursuing today, and some of which we are actually already pursuing with India, matter of fact. And on the left is a laser cutting process. I talked about that beam control and how we direct that laser. Well, let me just tell you that the lasers that we target gets you about a 10 micrometer or 10 micron level accuracy. So it gets very accurate. What that translates to is you can cut surfaces like carbon fiber in a very, very clean manner, unlike before. So this is used for automotive industry, aerospace industry, and traditional method like abrasive water jet or blade-based cutting produces a lot of debris itself, and it actually is very harmful for the workers working in that environment. So lasers actually, with the right protective gear, can produce a much faster, much more efficient, actually potentially cheaper and safer environment for these types of production. Number two is the desalination of seawater to produce clean water. Now, here in Japan, perhaps we don't value enough the fact that we can just turn the faucet and have drinking water every single day. In other parts of the world, I think that is not always the case. And the liquid metal that I mentioned earlier actually can help separate materials from the seawater, not just salt, but also other valuable elements like magnesium, also potassium, calcium, lithium, and others. So that technology, actually it doesn't even have to be electrically powered, which is also good, allows for separation of rare elements and also producing clean water at the same time. And again, that I should actually highlight there. I know that the logo was squished a little bit due to the space, but it is something that we're working with ourselves, Tokyo Institute of Tech and IIT Hyderabad as well. So next slide, please. Now, talking about fusion energy, like I said, about 13, 14, 15 years out, but in the near term, we have ideas and ways to produce revenue. As a startup, we always have to focus ourselves on the survivability as a company, and how do you do that is producing revenue. So near term, as the bottom indicator tells you the power output of the lasers, I mentioned we have a 1 kilowatt, we're gonna get to 10 kilowatt by end of next year, and 100 kilowatt, 3 or 4 years time. Laser cutting, laser peening. Peening is the idea of strengthening a particular material through lasers. We can also do pesticide removals and basically killing pests with lasers. Desalination and mineral extraction that I mentioned. We can also monitor space debris. You can also be used for semiconductor EUV lithography. So there's a lot of applications that the same laser technology, the beam control, and the liquid metal can be applied. And again, Ambassador, correct me if I'm wrong, but some of these are certainly a focus area for India as well, I presume. So again, really looking into the future, we can also apply for cancer therapy treatment. We can also produce artificial lightning to prevent wildfires. Again, there's a lot of opportunities that we can pursue. Next slide, please. And just a little bit at the end, just concluding with a notion about ourselves and our existing work internationally and domestically. So we are a Osaka University spun out startup. So we are based in Osaka. We have a facility in Hamamatsu that's our R&D facility. But as the map indicates, we have presence in the United States, Australia, and in India as well. So some of the work that we do in other parts of outside of Japan are more geared towards fusion application or laser applications. In particular, India specifically has been, we have a team there, 3 members and a contracting team thereafter, focused on data control and data access control, because the research that we're doing is dual use. So we certainly have to protect it accordingly, but it's also the application that extends beyond it. So really all of those things make us well, if you kind of notice, that's actually the Quad nations too. And we didn't really plan this, but it turned out that way. And it actually works really well for us. In the end, I just want to leave off with an idea that, in Japan, it's very difficult for technologies that are geared perhaps more towards defense to be applied and researched. That is changing, but here we have a case where Osaka University has studied and researched for 50 years in the past, laser technology and laser fusion. And we're seeing numerous applications in the industry and also in defense. And we're hoping that we can foster a stronger relationship between Japan and India in expanding our capabilities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Masuda-san. In the audience, do we have any questions?
Do we have questions?
Okay. Online, do we have any questions? Oh, sir has a question, please.
Yes.
Can someone give me a mic?
Yes, I can hear. Yeah.
Reality in next 20 years.
Yes.
So the 20 years is not there. But now we have a high hope on fusion. And in India, one of the private university in Pune, his university vice chancellor has actually working with fusion forum around the globe, having participants.
Mhm.
And I think if we can connect you with them,
Yes.
and we want to see this fusion in reality, and then we are targeting by 2040, we should have this at the commercial level. So I think this startup can work with that platform, and I think I would like to connect you to them. And
Absolutely.
the alternative application of laser,
Yes.
is the institute on the Department of Atomic Energy called RRCAT,
Mm.
Raja Ramanna Research
Mhm.
Center for Advanced Technologies. And they do a lot of research on laser. So there's potential for collaborating on laser also as well. But we want to see fusion as a future of energy. And I think on that forum, I think we should work together.
Absolutely. I think energy security is a challenge for every nation, right? And then I think
Yeah, this will change the whole.
this
thought
will change
process
the
of-
entire dynamics of global politics and energy security and the paradigm that we live in. And I think if we are free from kind of energy security as a challenge, we can really move forward with innovation and
And
growth.
then
So-
not only on data, I think on setting up a reactor also. Because
Absolutely, we'd
I
be
think
delighted to.
we are still to overcome on the working with nuclear fission,
Yes.
but I think we have to move in this direction. So.
Absolutely. I think the fission is perhaps without trying to anger too many people, I think a more of a stopgap measure until we can move on to fusion. But the sooner we can accelerate the development of fusion technology, fusion power plants, I think the better the world will be. And like the ambassador said, like-minded countries and like-minded people should work towards security, not only in the region, but globally. And again, this really will foster that foundation for partnerships. So we're hoping to do that. Thank you. I would love to get that introduction, though.
Any questions from the online participants?
Good.
By the way, Masuda-san, the gentleman who suggests you is Dr. Yashwant Panwar. He is our Counselor for Science and Technology.
Oh, excellent.
So maybe in that case, can we just move to the next presenter? Yeah, thank you so much. Yoshiki Matsui-san. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our next startup for today is Location Mind. Location Mind is a technology startup originating from the University of Tokyo. They are involved in frontline research in geospatial information in a wide range of technology sets related to GNSS signal. I present to you Mr. Yoshiki Matsui.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm Yosuke Matsui from the Location Mind. My role is international business development for the space and defense industry. Location Mind, is a world-leading geospatial information bank and also the next generation GNSS security provider. Go on to the next page. Yes, we are now closely working with the Japanese Cabinet Office and JAXA, the Japanese Space Institute. And also, yes, our activity is now crossing to the APAC area, Middle East, and North Africa area. Go on to the next slide. Yes, our presence is one of the biggest leading for the Japanese startups. And we expect we can be like next generation world leading the startup like pioneer about the GNSS technology and space usage. Our company came from the University of Tokyo with the Professor Shibasaki and Professor Dinesh. They are very specialist about the GNSS design, engineering, and security. That's okay. We are providing the two business lines. One is a location AI, and second is a GNSS security, the signal authentication. Go on to the next slide. Next slide. Yes, this is our business model. We receive the location data such as from the smartphones, automobiles, or ships from the telecommunication company, ship company, or like logistics company like Toyota, Hino Trucks, NTT Docomo, or like that. And also we analyze the location data with our world-leading AI technology with the statistical modeling and provide some specific, unique, and customizable data to our clients, not just for the business partners, but also the government or governmental institutes. Next slide, please. This is an example of our output. You can see the left side. This is the people flow visualization we implemented in Dubai. You can see the people flow from the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest, highest tower, and where they go to in the UAE. And also, you can see the right side is like more numerical analysis from the location data. We can support the decision makers like, hey, this street is very famous for dinner, but not so much about the breakfast. So, okay, let's discuss about what we serve for dinner. Or, hey, this street has a like population peak in the afternoon and evening, but not so much for the early morning and midnight. So we can shorten the opening time so far, or like that. Go to the next slide. Yes, this capability can be applicable for the very various industry and domains, like not just only transportation, environment, or like urban city development, disaster management, logistics, or yes, everything. So we have a very great potential to deploy our AI capability to the multiple domains all over the world. Go to the next slide. Yes, this is our second business line, signal authentication, the new GNSS security for the location for the anti-spoofing. Next slide, please. Yes, this is the overview of our signal authentication technology. We can provide the digital signature as the authentication data to the user via QZSS, the Japanese GPS. And the user can identify the true positioning signal and suspicious signal, such like a spoofing, beaconing, or other like some attacking signals. Go to the next slide, please. Fortunately, we implemented some test and validation on the on-site. We received the secure GNSS signal and identify it with the signal authentication on the car with the PC, the personal PC. And we succeeded to identify the secure GNSS signal with the software specific software application. Go to the next slide, please. This is about the result of our validation. We confirmed our signal authentication can be applicable for the fixed site, like the communication station, like the 5G station or something, and very accurate authenticated positioning tracking in the open area, like near the Gulf Bay, or like open space area. But and also in the urban area or crowded space, the location tracking is not so accurate, but we can develop it and make it more accurate, precise, and like sequential. This is now developing. Go to the next slide, please. And yes, this model can be our flagship product for the next generation GNSS security. This is dongle, as you can see. You only insert it to your mobility like cars, ships, or PC, smartphone. You can use the signal authentication very easily and simply. Also, this is produced with a very low cost as expected. So this can be applicable for the all domains, like not just only the cars, trucks, or ships, but also the airplanes, your personal devices, or like social infrastructure like 5G station, or some other communication infrastructures, or something, all of something. And this is our final slide, but this is my final message to India. Now, we are looking for the production capability because, yes, we are a startup company, so we don't have any factory or like production site. So, but also we need mass production because this dongle can be deployed to the all domains, as I mentioned, and for all over the world. This is not just tens of production, but millions, or if we can, billions of production. So yes, India has an abundance of the manpower and high-level engineers, and also the rapid growing market. That's very attractive for our company. We are so far small company, but we are sure we can be a world-leading GNSS and space company engaging to the all over the world with India. Thank you very much.
May we limit question answers to one question here, and we can take the questions at the end of the session. Any question? Any one question from the audience here? Okay. Thank you so much, Matsui-san.
Thank you very much.
Our next startup for today is 3D Printing Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, Hina Taniguchi-san will be presenting. I have the same sensei, same information. Ambassador, we show you diversity today. The startup 3D Printing Corporation is a three-dimensional additive manufacturing company for consistent design and development of composite materials, quality evaluation of prototypes, and they aim to do it to a full-scale production. Ladies and gentlemen, Hina Taniguchi.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hina Taniguchi, and I'm from 3D Printing Corporation, as known as 3DPC. I've been with 3DPC for several years by now, and I've experienced sales, marketing, and now I'm managing the division of dual-use technologies. Could you go to the next slide, please? Today I'm going to be talking about the overview and main business of 3DPC, and what makes 3DPC unique, and 3DPC's plans on fostering additive manufacturing technologies. Before getting into these points, I'd like to clarify what additive manufacturing is, which is often confused with 3D printing technology. So whilst 3D printing technology refers only to 3D printing process itself, additive manufacturing refers to kind of broader context, including CAD modeling, data simulation, and of course 3D printing and post-process. Could you go to the next slide? So let me give you an introduction to 3D Printing Corporation. We're based in Yokohama and currently have 30 employees, including 25 Japanese people. And 3DPC's main business focuses on engineering service, printing service, and also hardware and software sales. I'm often being asked if I'm selling 3D printing. If I'm selling 3D printers. The answer is yes, we do sell 3D printers. However, that's the tip of the iceberg, and we mainly focus on engineering service and printing service to achieve our mission, which goes as building alternative supply chains. Go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So some of you may thought, okay, there are tons of 3D printing companies. What makes 3DPC unique? Okay, there are 2 points that I would like to talk about today. The first point is that we built one-stop service. So as I mentioned earlier, our mission goes as we build alternative supply chains. Why do we have to do that? Well, because we believe that our manufacturing industry is still clinging to the conventional manufacturing system, which is basically unproductive. So each process is basically carried out by a different sectors, and it can be easily imagined that miscommunications often happen, and it takes quite a long time for you to get a final part, and also it costs sometimes more than necessary. Could you go to this next slide, please? Thank you. So then how can it be changed? That's why we have integrated additive manufacturing technology and also built one-stop service. On our one-stop service, from identifying challenges, designing, manufacturing, prototyping, and post-processing, and quality control, clients can fully rely on us from the beginning to the end. So also because we have integrated additive manufacturing technology, it takes for you to get a final part just only takes a day to sometimes a few weeks, and also whole production cost gets much cheaper. Could you go to the next slide, please? So second point of why 3DPC is unique is that, okay, sorry, could you play the video, please? Could you go back to the previous slide, please? The previous slide. Previous slide. Yes, thank you. So, okay, let me give you an example of the first point of why 3DPC is unique. So, could you play the video? Okay, that's no problem. Thank you. So, okay, this is basically this size, propeller of this size, the 60 times 16 centimeter times 16 centimeters. And it takes just only 43 hours to print it. And also 3DPC has got the capability to post-process post-process it after the print. And so even if you request from designing, it takes just a few weeks to get this propeller. Next slide, please. Okay, let me move on to the second point of why 3D-PC is unique. So the second point is that 3D-PC proactively collaborate with private and public sectors. Please let me give you one of the projects that we worked. So this is a SDGs project that a 3D-PC and NTT Docomo worked together. And so NTT Docomo was seeking a partner to work to tackle plastic waste on shores of Okinawa. And NTT Docomo has got the overview of the project, and they collected plastic waste. What 3D-PC did is shredded the plastic, made filaments from the shredded plastic, and printed smartphone cases from the filaments. Actually, these smartphone cases were exhibited at Naha Airport to demonstrate the story of environmental pollution in Okinawa and get awareness of both the local people and tourists. Next slide, please. Please let me introduce another research example. This is an ongoing grant project at 3PC, Ehime University, and Takenaka, which is one of the major construction companies in Japan. This is a grant project that is supported by Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport. Takenaka was seeking ways to reduce concrete material for buildings while at the same time achieving suppression of noises and vibrations. Ehime University on 3D-PC designed this vibration isolating metal materials hang from the ceiling for replacement concrete, and 3D-PC 3D print them. It's been 3 years since this project started, but we've already achieved 6 times more suppression than using concrete material. Next slide, please. So we have built one-stop service, and we've integrated AM solution, and we've worked also on several projects with various partners. So what is the next step? Well, I think it's time for 3PC to foster additive manufacturing and integration. We have several plans of how we can do that, but let me introduce some of the plans. First, we'll engage in more collaborations with research institutions. By doing that, we can write more white papers based on those projects, and also we can make a kind of base for more institutions to get involved in additive manufacturing industry. Second, we'll enhance the dual usage of additive manufacturing technology with private companies. Now the world is getting more and more fractured, and we think it's very important to integrate additive manufacturing to tackle the world security problem more efficiently. Finally, we'll share our technologies with the future generation by letting, for example, students use our facility or letting students join our internship program, for example. Next slide, please. Okay, finally, our factory and office are located in Yokohama, and we'd be really happy to have you if you're interested for a factory tour. And also, I'm really looking forward to working with you all in the near future. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Any questions, please? Thank you so much, Hinata Taniguchi-san.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next startup comes from Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology. Viorius is an AI-enabled autonomous robotics and UAV hardware agnostic management software platform provider. They are incubated at OIST, which is Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology. What to mention here is that OIST has a very budding startup ecosystem. At least 3 Indian startups are incubated at OIST. So I'll hand over and present you Nishant Singh Rana from OIST.
Konnichiwa, namaste, hello. I'm Nishant, and I'm the founder and CEO of Vurious. We are seeking to transform the unmanned robotic infrastructure from a digital standpoint. Next slide, please. So we came to Japan about 4 months back with the help of OIST, which is the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology. They run an accelerator program where they find startups, bring them to Japan, and help them expand. Since 4 months, we have very specifically been working and connecting with Japanese companies and enterprises to find problem statements that we can provide a solution for. Next slide, please. Talking about problems, I'll take a case study of one of our clients, F-Drones. It's a company in Singapore that provides ship-to-shore drone logistics. They aim to deploy 6 drones that can carry packages from ports to ships and vice versa. They deployed these systems, and pretty soon they realized that the major challenge was not to just build these systems, but rather operating them. They realized that all they had done was to replace a manually operated vehicle with an unmanned system, but rest 70% still required human intervention. Why this was happening, we realized that first and foremost, as operators, you will have different hardware systems depending on the end use cases and problem statements that you have. Once you have that, it becomes really, really hard to manage and control all of them together. Talking about control, you will realize that right now there's a one pilot, one drone setup, which is not economical, nor you will have enough pilots when you have a million drones flying, up in the sky. Then you will realize that managers and supervisors need understanding to take decisions, and that needs to be, in real time. But right now, there is no real-time tracking of these systems available currently. Maintenance, management, all of this has bottlenecks because these are all manual in nature. And lastly, security and certification are a big part of this entire segment and the sector. Anything that is autonomous, level 4, you require a lot of security measures to be in picture. And if you're building something, then you need to take a type certification on. And there is no user experience. We are living in a society where when we book an Uber or Didi, in the case of Tokyo, you as user expect the transparency to see where your Uber is, where your taxi is, and you basically plan everything around that. Next slide, please. So we understood this challenge, this problem. We realized that we'll basically create a standard infrastructure on which other players, other companies, other manufacturers and operators can basically directly hop on and provide the end solution. So we have created an AI-enabled plug-and-play software infrastructure that basically brings in fleet management, tracking, analytics, and operation optimization all together. How we do that is first bringing a hardware-agnostic network layer, which means you can now build anything. It can work on any software. We'll still be able to integrate it all together and provide you a seamless connected infrastructure. Second, right out of the bat, we basically allow a single pilot to control 6 drones simultaneously. This is something that we call dynamic swarming, and in future, we'll be able to increase it up to 200 odd drones. We basically completely digitize how you run your inspections, troubleshootings, repairs, maintenance, even live tracking with or without internet. And lastly, we basically help you, provide data logging capabilities, and we provide the type certification requirements from the software standpoint and help you bring these robotic systems literally into your workflow, which could be anything: logistics, agriculture, public safety. Next slide, please. So we are already launched and deployed. We have got some initial traction. We have got our clients we are working with around 15. As the POC, we basically did South Asia's first live commercial drone delivery operation in India, in Manipur actually, where we allow the drone to basically transport COVID vaccinations at the time of Corona in 2021 to islands. And we basically reduce the time from 1.5 hours to just 16 minutes. Other than that, we are also the official partner for Nokia to integrate 5G, and we are working with other 5G, private 5G network providers to help bring these robotic systems and work on this specific networking layer. Next slide, please. So talking about value proposition, we have a very specific focus. We want to reduce the number of humans in every part of this entire value chain so that we can bring in more economic feasibility to unmanned operations per se.
We are providing a single platform layer so that you as operators are completely flexible and agnostic of your choices, whether the past hardware choices or the future hardware choices. And lastly, we aim to basically provide you secure, operations environment through our layer. The way that we divide our technologies in three parts. One, we specifically focus on control and commanding of these robots. Second, we focus on process automation. And lastly, the operation optimization. So while you're working, while you're commanding these systems, we make sure that as you increase your operations, these are very highly scalable and we can efficiently manage them all together. Next slide, please. So what we say is that we have a pretty end-to-end infrastructure in place. So right from training, piloting, tracking, operations, maintenance, and workflows, we've realized that as an enterprise, as an organization, you don't care about how the robot works or how it looks like. You care about how it integrates backwards into your existing workflows, existing applications. And there are four major segments about that. You have to take care of the transparency of the entire operation. You have to take care of the security of the entire operation, how scalable it can get, and how much flexibility you can have to choose anything that you want in the future or in the past. And this is exactly what we want to target with our solution, agnostic of these robots. Next slide, please. In terms of industry, we are pretty open. We can work anywhere, but we are currently focusing on anything that has huge numbers, higher frequency, and higher volume. In those terms, we are currently working with a lot of companies dealing in agriculture, logistics, public safety, and remote inspections. Next slide, please. Talking about the market size, then I'll just take a number coming from the US market, considering it's the biggest right now. There are about 1 million new drones that were sold in 2021. By 24, these will be 3 million drones. And if we can basically put our software or get them on our layer, it will give us a $9 billion market size. Right now, we're currently focusing and targeting on an uphill market that's about $400 million in the next 3 years, which are very specifically focused on enterprise-grade drone operations that has scale attached to that. Next slide, please. In our business model, we have three different streams. We charge a subscription from the operators. We charge a perpetual license from manufacturers, which is kind of what Windows did with IBM. And then we also charge them an integration cost. In near future, when we become big, we believe we'll have a lot of operators and manufacturers on board. We can act as an aggregator, as well as allow our APIs and SDKs to be utilized by other developers. So whatever AI you want to put on top of the videos and the machines, you will be able to do that directly using our infrastructure. And our financial model starts at $99, goes up to $266, depending on how much integrations you require. As a perpetual license, we basically charge $300 right now. Move ahead, please. So in terms of financial forecast, taking the 3 million into account and just having 1% acquisition target, we'll have 30,000 new drones coming up every year. In the next 3 years, we basically just aim to connect about 23,000 drones. And with that, we'll be able to generate a $22 million revenue. Moving forward. We have some amazing companies across the globe, no doubt in that. They're doing some fabulous job. The way that we are differentiating ourselves is more from a strategic and technological standpoint. We are making sure that we basically remain focused on hardware agnostic from both a configuration standpoint as well as communication. We strategically allow every system to be connected and controlled using any medium, RF tethered, 4G, 5G, satellite, whatever that is. And when we do that, we basically create an internet independent setup, which means that every single individual system or device can be connected to all of these drones, agnostic of you have internet or not. If you have internet, then we basically become a data company. We've got all of your data in our stream, and then we can analyze it backwards for you for your own operations. Then we basically create, in terms of security, a noded decentralized setup where each node is a computational device. It could be a mobile phone, laptop, iPads, whatever that is. And that specific computational device gets the software on top. And then even if the entire infrastructure breaks down, servers goes down, you can still keep operating that moving forward. And lastly, we are definitely working to create an aviation-grade drone management system for enterprise-grade operations. In terms of roadmap, this is exactly where we are at OIS in Okinawa. Currently, we are working with them to basically expand in Japan. We are looking to raise a seed round. In the next 3 years, we basically want to get about 1,000 clients. And from there on, we'll basically open our infrastructure for other unmanned systems as well. Next slide, please. The team is a well amalgamation of people coming from software, electronics, mechanical, hardware, legal backgrounds. We are basically coming together to basically, create this amazing solution of ours. Like I said, product is already launched. Previously, we raised some funding. We've connected our system with 24 different kind of robotic systems. These are not the sheer number of systems. These are just the different robots that we have already connected. Moving ahead. As of now, we are looking to raise a $2 million seed round. Japan, US, India. We are basically open for all these investors. And this round will help us getting to the market faster, gain a bigger size of the market, work with more companies, and definitely get the product a little better and more stable. So this is where we are. Next slide. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving the stage and the time. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you so much, Nishant-san. Ladies and gentlemen, we now switch to our online mode. Our next three presentations are going to be online. Our next startup is Liberware. They are a combination of what liberal and software. Liberware specializes in the development of indoor small drone. They are based out of Chiba. They have an expertise in narrow and confined span drone inspection with 3D data acquisition technology for indoor non-GPS environments. Mr. Akira Ukaji will be making the presentation.
Express my appreciation to this Embassy of India and all others involved. I'm going to bring up my presentation for tonight by myself. Hello, can I just bring my screen up? Okay, will do. Okay. So is everyone seeing my screen, like a slideshow versus Liberware #1 aerospace support? Okay, fine, thank you very much. All right, let's get started. So first of all, my name is Akira Ukaji, and I'm serving as a BPGM sales of Liberware. And Liberware is the #1 aerospace drone inspection company from Japan in our self-recognition. So who we are, our company was established in 2016 by a founder called Mr. Min, and he's senior researcher at Chiba University who was leading the autonomous drone control under Professor Nonami. And since then, we have put indoor micro drone as our core competence technology. But throughout our business experience, we also merged a digital twin modeling technology, and now we put those together as a combined core competence. And as a deep tech company, we are tackling to a very critical social issues or challenges, which is the infrastructure and industrial facilities maintenance. So, similar to humans, when things get old, many things happen, like malfunction, defect, failures, breaks and cracks and so forth. And maintenance cost is ever increasing. And also there is an extremely high human risk that, for example, proper knowledge is not adequately passed down. And also as a result, fully inspected infrastructure could lead to a serious and fatal accident, like you can see in the picture. And also, the workers are also risking their lives, especially in narrow and hazardous spaces. So, time to time, even in Japan, we have a fatal accident that the workers are involved during the maintenance activities. So, having said that, especially for the country like Japan, where we face a severe demographic change and the decrease in the workforce, someone needs to do something. We can't expect humans in younger generation to carry out the work. So what we came up with the combination of the inspection methodology using drone with digital modeling, and there we also utilize AI and conduct AI analytics, so that at the end of the day, it's not only about the drone going into the dangerous place and do the inspection instead of you, but we could more put ourselves into this preventive maintenance world where we detect and counter and measure those defects and malfunctions before it even happens. which would lead to you and customers to significantly save costs and improve quality while enhancing the safety of the workers. And so the underlying magic of this drone inspection solution is this drone, IBIS-2. This is indigenous and 100% in-house manufactured and developed by ourselves. It's a drone for inaccessible spaces. It's the world's smallest in-class drone, 20 by 20 by 5 centimeters with 243 grams, which is slightly more than the latest iPhone 15. And it's optimized for indoor non-GPS environments. So in other words, it couldn't go outside because it's too small. And not collision avoidance. All the other drones, 99% of them are collision avoidance. So they got many sophisticated sensors on board to prevent the drone to hit something. But our drone is, since by its nature, it goes into dark and narrow and confined spaces, it is a collision proof that it could recover from any collision or bumping into any obstacles, so to say. Well, so now I think you're pretty much tired of listening to me speaking about drones. So let me bring up the video and make him explain it to you instead of me.
Make invisible risks visible.
By the way, Ariels, can you hear the sound of this video?
IBIS-2, ultra-small inspection drone for narrow and confined spaces. The tiny made-in-Japan drone that plays a mighty role. Narrow, dark, dangerous places can harbor unseen risks. IBIS-2 investigates so people don't have to. At 20 centimeters across, IBIS-2 is the industry's smallest drone. It enters spaces that couldn't be inspected before. IBIS-2 is outfitted with features for inspecting even extreme environments. The highly stable IBIS-2 can bump into walls and keep on flying, safely entering narrow spaces. Lightweight and only 243 grams with durable body, IBIS-2 is resistant to damage and poses little risk of damaging equipment. The antenna extender, developed exclusively by LibreAware, enables wireless communication even where radio waves can't reach. Accomplish the mission in dark and dirty environment. IBIS-2 lights its path forward, capturing clear video on its super high sensitivity camera. Equipped with a dust-proof motor and built to IP51 standard, IBIS-2 can fly even in extreme environment. Turtle mode enables quick recovery from turning upside-down situation that guarantees the safe return. Ultra-compact design enables up to 11 minutes of flight. For extra ease of use, optional parts are available. Upward camera, thermal camera. IBIS-2 renders invisible risks visible. LibreAware offers one-stop data processing service from video recording to delivery. 3D rendering of point clouds enables IBIS-2 to measure distance and volume. Orthorectification is used to manage 3D equipment using 2D images. In the unlikely event of repairs, LibreAware conducts all repairs in-house in Japan, enabling prompt service. The IBIS series continues to advance, supporting safe society for everyone. Making the invisible visible. IBIS-2, ultra-small inspection drone for narrow and confined spaces.
Thank you for watching. So that was very impressive, wasn't it? Or maybe it was only for me. But anyway, so on the other hand, while the drone itself is very impressive in my view, at the end of the day, for the customers, it's not the drone itself that they are looking for. It's the output. What brings to value to the customer is the output imagery and also the output data. So for our drone, we team up with a company called Culta and created a 3D model out from our video imagery. So the beauty of the system is not just having the video imagery out from the drone, but if the customer requires, then they would be able to have this full 3D model just out from the video imagery. You don't have to use any other devices like lasers and ultrasonic. You just have this drone, and that's it. And of course, it doesn't have to be our drone at the end of the day. It could be iPhone and YouTube and GoPro, and so many other stuff can be also interfaced with Chansty. And it's vice versa. Our drone can be interfaced with other software too. So the point being is, our drone can also be used as a device to do the 3D modeling. The conclusion here is, so we can save cost by, in Japan, approximately 7% of the cost of the standard inspection can be saved. Also, the improved quality, which means, it used to be that only I can do it, like, in the army, it's a special force thing, but now we can standardize it to everyone, to like a cadet. And also this enhanced safety, you don't have to send men over to the dangerous areas, like for the house sweeping operation, our drone can go in there instead of them. And as a Series C startups, we have conducted more than 400 cases so far in various locations like decks, chimneys, incinerators, parking lot, silos, and so many other stuff. And so far, we have awarded some of the major prizes in Japan, and one of them are the latest one is the Japan Drone AAM Awards 2023 Grand Prize. So that means Japan Drone awarded that as the best drone for the year, surprisingly. And since I know this ISIC event has a focus virtually on the defense, so just for reference, we came up with some of the hypotheses. So which type of military operation or situation that can be utilized our drone. One is this house clearing mission, another one is the patrol and track and indoor. So outdoor, you can have a belly drones by somebody else. So the combination, we can use it. And also surveillance, for those indoor spaces where you feel unsafe, you can send out drones instead of person as like a first hit. And so these are some of the things which we think in our mind. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. That was everything from my side. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Akira-san. Maybe move to the next startup in the interest of time, please. Our next startup for today is I'm Beside You. It's the Japanese entrepreneur Shojo Kamiya-san.
So I'm done. So I'm more than happy to take any questions, but if not, then
so yeah, maybe after the event we can, after all presentations, we can take your questions, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. May I introduce I'm Beside You, the next startup for us today. The entrepreneur, Japanese entrepreneur Shozo-san is actually sitting in US right now, presenting on as a Japanese startup, and they have a aim to do business in India, and they are actually doing a lot of business in India. So I'm Beside You is an AI-powered platform using multimodal video AI analytics and LLM, specialized in mental health detection with insights into behavior, allowing to identify and address potential issues early. Shozo-san, please, the floor is all yours.
今、大丈夫ですか？ Thank you. Sorry for that waiting. Can you see the slides? Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Shodo Kamiya, founder by Missile Inc. We are founded after COVID-19 happened, and for realizing our vision, the whole world become a school, creating the society, people respecting each other and learning each other. My two co-founders and I have over 50 years working experience in NTT Data, largest IT company in Japan. And now Shivam Gupta-san, IIT Kanpur graduate and who selected Healthcare 30 under 30 entrepreneur, joined us as Indian directors. Big knowledge area of humans. GPT revolute wisdom area of humans. We are revolute last part of human being, emotion part. Now, many persons suffered mental health problem. Patient number is increasing more and more, and there's many shortage of therapists existing. In US, therapist fee is reached US dollar per hour, and 6 months waiting list is existing. So we create the solution for solving the therapist gap shortage. And we deliver therapist success platform for therapists for reducing therapist after call work. And we also create AI therapist services, combine generative AI with our mental health detection engines. This is the therapist success platform. We are automatically analyzing online therapies, communications, emotion trigger, and conversations, and therapist easily checking back each patient by patient. It's reducing 80% of therapists after call work, and our mental health detection AI engines support diagnosis of the therapist. This month, we applied FDA in US. And with IIT students, we deliver our AI therapy. It works 24 hours, 365 days, and combine our mental health.
I'm sorry to hear that. Naima, have you tried any relaxation techniques or a routine to help improve your sleep?
Users' privacy and analyzing users' face and voice and gestures day by day, and watching over your mental health like your old friend. Market of therapy success is $1.6 billion, and market of AI therapists is $17.9 billion. Our mental health detection engine can detect 86% of mental health disorder only from video analytics, and many therapist platforms like Kotori or Yourdost or Mana Wellness using our services. And our AI therapist services, already 4,400 students from IIT and IIMs register and using our solutions. We are doing the joint research with Medical University and NIMHAN consecutive 3 years. And we already got over thousands of the test results of the IIT students. And we have strong relationship with IIT and IIM. This year, over 10,000 IIT and IIM students applied our internship opportunity. It's 45% of all IIT and IIMs. We believe our recruiting power of India top talent is #1 in the world. And we already applied for 250 global patents for protecting our technology using by bad purpose. Japanese government strongly backed up us. We got Japan grant from Japanese government consecutive 3 years, and I believe we can continuously collaborate with Japanese government. We already got 4 million fundraising in Japan. Now we got best talents and data in India, and from now on we go US market for monetizing using IIT and IIM alumni network, and our full remote working structure will create great cost-competitive advantages. This is our team. Over 2/3 of our members are IIT graduates. And many academic partners like NIMHANS, IITs, and Mass Medical Universities, and Keio University is collaborating with us. I was selected one of the South by Southwest speech finalists, and our CTO Nose-san is selected CTO of the year by TechCrunches. And in SHRM Labs, Best Award Question Cup, we are selected one of the 2 representative of India Asian startups. Our business model is horizontal SaaS, only $70 per user per month. The therapist use all of our functions. It's very cheap in US market, so we can expand our service more and more. Yes, now we are doing global angel round, just 2 to 3 million fundraising for cracking US market. After entering the US market, we definitely become over the decacorn for realizing our vision. We will create AI like your old friends, watching over your daily behavior and democratize personalized professional services. We deliver best therapist for you, best teacher for you, best recruiter for you, best consultant for you. It works, support you 24 hours, 365 days, and 99% cost reductions. We will save your mental well-being, definitely. Thank you very much.
Kamiya Sensei,
Yeah,
I have one question.
sure.
So, AI therapist and yoga,
Mhm.
yoga, so how
Yes.
much it is different?
Ah.
Difference between yoga and AI therapist. In India, we use yoga.
Yes, yes. That's a very good question. Actually, we are we Japanese also doing the mediation with Japanese priest, and we are measure the human beings' behavior before mediation and after mediation with our multimodal AI practices, and definitely effective. And in my thoughts, that yoga and AI therapist is not the same kind of type of services. AI therapist is the friend of you, and yoga is the activity for you. So AI therapist talk to you day by day, and sometimes AI therapist recommend, hey, maybe you take a yoga, enjoy the yoga is a good time for you now, or such kind of thing. So we are recommended meditation or yoga or exercise or more deep sleeping. Such kind of thing is AI is your friend. So recommend your best behavior.
Okay. Thank you. ありがとうございます。
Yeah, thank you. Very good questions. Thank you very much. Is there any other questions?
Shozo-san, domo arigatou gozaimashita. And we really appreciate you joining us for the event from US. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, our last presentation for today is from TASL, Tata Advanced Systems Limited. And our presenter for today will be Commander Retired Rahul Vermaji from TASL. Over to you, Commander Rahul Vermaji. Thank you.
Yes, I can hear. Yes, I can. Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you see my screen, please? Yeah. Is it better now? Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And to begin with, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to represent in these esteemed forum. I am Commander Rahul Verma, retired. I'm presently DGM Technical at Tata Advanced Systems Limited, and I'll be covering the whole package which the Tata gets in specific from TASL. So this is a group overview of Tata. We are a company which is synonymous with trust. We are available in all the domains from information technology, infrastructure, tourism, steel, financial services, telecom, automotive, aerospace and defense, trading and investment, and consumer retail. Today, we'll be only talking about aerospace and defense because of the nature of time as well as the presentation. So Tata Advanced System is one of the largest private aerospace and defense entity with presence across all the domains as it is flashed on the slide. So whether it is autonomous drone, loitering ammunitions, to mine protected vehicles, to ATGS and aerostructures, we have started manufacturing C295 under license also in India from Airbus. Our wide facilities which are available are as flashed. We have presence in most of the part of the country, and we believe in creating an ecosystem rather than doing it all alone. So we have an ecosystem supporting the whole Tata setup, wherein we get all the data, we get all the equipment, components, and thereafter assemble it for our customers. Few of our customer profiles, Indian as well as international, is as flashed. In India, most of the companies, most of the government services, security forces have our presence. Across the globe, we are slowly and steadily growing. Key domains which I'll be covering during my presentations are UAVs, optronic and night vision, artillery and armor, land mobility, personal vehicle armoring solution, modernization of airfield infrastructure, and the sixth domain of warfare now, which is cyber. We have a loitering ammunition which is based on vision. This is very important when you operate in GNSS denied environment and there is a lot of electromagnetic jamming. Our systems are GNSS proof because they are based on vision. The typical flight profile is as shown: vertical takeoff, flight cruise, does maneuvering, gains altitude as per the requirement of the target, loiters, acquire the target, and thereafter dive and attack. This is ALS 150, which I was just explaining. This is one of the equipment which has been sold to Indian Armed Forces. Set is as flashed. This is a range of 50 km plus line of sight. Endurance is around an hour. Cruise speed of 100 kmph. Ability for vertical takeoff and landing, fully autonomous. Space required is approximately 25 meters by 25 meters. This is being too optimistic and but since the size is small, it can go into small spaces. It can operate from -10 to +50 degrees centigrade. This is the final assembly line, which when before handing over to the Indian customer, you can see the numbers, and I will not be able to share the exact figures, but it's more than hundreds of these systems which has been supplied. Also have a small iVTOL 20, which is for short range ISR. This is also a fully autonomous solution. Needs barely a human being, because we have mounted the AI to give us any change management which we pick up from our ISR sensors. On to optronics and night vision systems. They have full range of product portfolios, from cool thermal imaging systems to image intensification tube-based night vision devices, which can be used for security, patrol boats, assault rifles. Irrespective of the weapon system which you have, my optronic sights can be mounted on them. Some of the high performance ones are as flashed, the uncooled detector of 12 micrometer. You can look at the detection range up to 1.8 kilometers. The weight to the returns which it is giving is the bigger systems which are mounted on board patrol boats, armored vehicle, and projection towers from 20 kilometers to 60 kilometers. The picture on your right is actual deployment in a high altitude lake somewhere in northern sector of India. Electro-optical payload can be controlled from a long distance, and it remotely controlled, so that the operator who is on the boat need not waste his time in controlling the camera, and the commanders down below can focus on what they want to see rather than passing instructions to turn left or right. Move to artillery and armor. So we are a strategic partner with Government of India, and we create launchers for all the systems which are presently in use in Indian Armed Forces, whether it is MR-SAM, Akash, Prahar, and the strategic missile. Whether it is multi-barrel rocket launchers, 105 mounted gun systems, advanced towed artillery gun, whether it is retrofitment of old systems, do it all. This is a detail about our ATAGS, which is the advanced towed artillery gun system with a range of 48 kilometers and 155 caliber. This is our mounted gun system for the new concept of shoot and scoot. The system is automated. You have the ammunition, the loading can be done through automated crane, and thereafter engage the target. Moving on to land mobility, we have a great range of product when it comes to land mobility solution. It covers complete chain from logistics, from armed and combat support platforms, and we are slowly moving to autonomous systems so as to convert all these vehicles autonomous and remove the man from the dangerous missions. This is our latest wheeled infantry combat vehicle. We call it VASP, which we are making for Indian Armed Forces. It's cleared at amphibious trial, winter trials. It has the provision of the 360-degree surveillance because of our own optronics. So we sell the complete package. The mine-protected vehicle in anti-terrorism IED-infested areas. Some of the more photographs of combat support and logistic vehicles for higher applications. On to personal vehicle and armoring solution. Bulletproof jacket, which is required across the globe. Various weight, various protection levels, from VIP concealable bulletproof to assault bulletproof jackets. We supply to all the forces in our country. We have the ability to supply at fast rate. We have proved our record of 50,000 bulletproof jacket to Indian Army in 6 months. Our other key products are level 4 bulletproof jacket, bulletproof helmets, and bulletproof shields. We do modernization of airfield infrastructure because everything cannot be greenfield. We have the ability to convert a brownfield into world-class infra with adding all these DVOR, ILS, glide path indicator, DME, TECAN, and AVR. We have this total turnkey project which we have started, and we are right now being awarded the MAFI 2 contract for 37 airfield, which is under progress. On to the last part of my presentation, physical and cyber security solutions. We provide solutions for long borders. India has phenomenal amount of land border as well as sea borders, and that is why our solutions are required to be domain agnostic but still specific to the need of the customer. We are doing comprehensive integrated border management systems for Indian Army. More details about these systems can be shared if required. My email has been put on the group. I will put it again. Any further, because these presentations will go into confidential nature because of security issues. Hence, we would like to not discuss all the key data during this presentation. However, I'm available on my email to give you a one-to-one presentation. Our cybersecurity services, because the next threat, which is more than human, is cyber, because drones are also through network security, application and data security. Hence, it becomes very, very important for maintaining a high level of cybersecurity. I have finished. For any questions, please be free to ask me. Anybody, any questions, any points? I'll be willing to take it on. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. This concludes the presentation from startups and industry. For our EndNote address, may I invite Shri Kurauchi-san, who is the expert officer for international cooperation from Acquisition Technology and Logistics Agency, ATLA, from Ministry of Defense. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Koji Kurauchi, Expert Officer for International Cooperation of ATRA. ATRA is part of Japanese Ministry of Defense. It's responsible for acquiring and researching and developing the defense equipment and technology for Japanese self-defense forces. And it's also in charge of supporting domestic defense production and technology bases. And it's also in charge of promoting international cooperation in the field of defense equipment and technology, which I'm working on. First of all, I'd like to thank Your Excellency Ambassador and the Embassy of India for inviting ATRA and giving me this opportunity. And I also like to thank participating companies for presenting informative presentations, and thank ISIC Japan and Invest India for organizing this event. I'd like to say a few words from ATRA's standpoints. Japan and India share the universal values such as democracy and free market economy, and have common interests in the peace and stability and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region and the world. Although India is geographically separated from Japan, both countries are connected through the ocean. India is located in the middle of the sea lane of Japan, which is the vital lifeline of Japan's survival. So India is definitely an indispensable partner of Japan. Japan and India have been enhancing cooperation in various fields, including not only trade and culture, but also diplomacy and national security and defense. Both countries echo the free and open Indo-Pacific vision. Defense equipment and technology cooperation is one of the prospective fields of cooperation. Between the governments of Japan and India, Japanese ATRA and Indian Department of Defense Cooperation, or DDP, have been working on defense equipment and technology cooperation, establishing joint working group on defense equipment and technology cooperation. There are various agenda items on the table of the working group. Deepening defense industry cooperation is one of those important items. From Japanese perspective, international cooperation of defense industry is very important for the national security of Japan. While a strong and sustainable defense industry is necessary for national defense, Japanese defense industry has been facing many challenges these days, such as withdrawal from the industry because of low profitability and supply chain risks. ATRA has launched new policy initiatives recently to tackle such problems. And international cooperation on defense equipment and technology is one of those initiatives. It has a future. It contributes to improving competitiveness of the industries, strengthening supply chains, and expanding the market. This would be true not only to the Japanese industry, but also to the Indians. Meanwhile, equipment and technology cooperation between India and Japan is just at the beginning stage now. So the first thing we should do would be to deepen mutual understanding. Understanding each country's defense equipment policy and export control policy is one thing. And understanding each industry's strengths and potentials is another. Today's second webinar, following the first one held this October, is an excellent opportunity to deepen the mutual understanding of both countries' industries. ATRA is grateful if Japanese and Indian companies develop interests in collaboration via this kind of event. ATRA is always ready to offer support as best as possible to realize practical cooperation. Finally, I hope today's India-Japan Emerging Tech Initiative will lead to new business opportunities for the participating companies. Defense industry is defense capability itself. This notion is what Japanese national security strategy prescribes. The defense production and technology bases are virtually integral part of defense capabilities. I believe Indo-Japan Defense Industry Cooperation will enhance production and technology bases and defense capabilities of both countries, and hence create a better security environment in the Indo-Pacific region. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, with your thoughts. May I now invite Mr. James Angeles, President ISIC Japan, for the concluding remarks for the event.
Good evening or good afternoon. You can see I'm the only one who stumbles on the way to the stage here today. I want to end this this small gathering, but impactful, by telling you the beginning of this Indo-Pacific concept that brings us together. It was born in Japan by Prime Minister Abe Shinzo, who created the concept of bringing India into the fold of the security apparatus of the free countries. He gave a speech to the Indian Parliament in 2007 called The Two Seas, where the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Oceans were mingling. Came from a Buddhist monk of the 16th century. It was captured by Abe's speechwriter, Taniguchi Tomohiko. Dr. Taniguchi wrote the speech for Abe-san, which created the idea that as a counter to China's Bridge and Road Initiative, which was land-based Eurasia, by mingling the two seas, this territory and the connectivity stretches from East Africa to the Western Americas. So it by far eclipses the Eurasian land bridge notion the Chinese have developed very effectively. It's really about the concept of security for the free countries. This concept came from Japan. And so we give thanks to where we are, to our host here. I'm just elated that we're actually able to communicate closely, human to human. I think as Atla has suggested, that we need a lot more conversation, a lot more personal interaction. And so with that, I want to invite everybody to the reception where we can mingle and get to know each other. And thank you for coming.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and please join us for chai and Indian refreshments, which have been very graciously organized by the Indian Embassy for us. Thank you so much.